Hello, in this video, we're going to discuss what it means to be a great writer. And specifically, we're talking about writing essays. And to be a great writer, the first step is to become a great reader. So let's first talk about the different reasons that we read. Here we can see there are many different reasons. We have civic enlightenment, which is your ability to participate in government. This could range from voting and voting for your elected officials to actually becoming an elected official yourself. There is general reading to learn what goes on in the home in your community. So that could be the community newspaper. It could also be instructions for how to install a refrigerator or instructions on how to do something around the house. You have job-related reading, right? You're always learning how to be better at what you do for your profession. We have learning, and that includes many different things from history to travel to science and news. And then we also have pleasure, just reading for fun, maybe something fictional, fantasy, science fiction, romance, whatever. Today we're going to be focusing on learning, mostly academic learning. So, when we want to be a good reader, we want to ask ourselves, what does that really mean? And to be a good reader, we want to be an active reader. That means interacting with the text, doing something with the text. That could range from reading it out loud to reading it slowly, reading it to someone else, and then also other things that we'll discuss here shortly. But we want to have the intention of learning when we sit down to read. We must be motivated to learn, and we need to have the purpose of learning. So we sit down for 5 to 10 minutes, and we're going to learn the subject that our article or mostly articles or book chapter might be trying to teach us. We need to have an open mind. Even if it might not be a topic of interest, we can always take what we learn and apply it to something else. And active reading always includes a written response. This is putting your thoughts on the paper so that you remember them more. And we'll get into what that looks like. So we want to interact with the text. The different things that we'll be reading for our essays will include science, scientific articles, maybe something historical, geographical, learn about different parts of the world. We might be reading to learn a math concept or math strategies, or we might be reading something regarding recent world events in the news. So, different tools for active reading. And there are a couple different things that we can do. We have highlighters. Highlighters to mark up the text. And these can be, it doesn't have to be a specific neon highlighter that we think of traditionally. It could be a marker. It could be a crayon, which allows you to see through the color back to the text. It could be a pencil to underline, or actually, just encircle different parts of a text. And there are different ways that we can mark the text. We can use bookmarks, we can use sticky notes, we can write in the margins, which are the edges of the article, or we can actually write our own outline. And when we take notes, either in an outline format or we're marking up the text, we're going to use the stoplight colors, which are red, green, and blue. And again, we have outline format, so I'm going to show that to you here shortly. So the stoplight colors are what we're going to use to help us become great readers and writers. And both our reading, the articles that we read, should and most likely will follow this format, and the essays that we write will definitely follow this format of green, yellow, and red. So for active reading, we have our three colors. We start off with green, it goes to yellow, red, and then back to green. So let's dive into this a little bit more. So the first thing we're going to look for in our active reading is the topic sentence. What is the one sentence, and most essays will have one sentence that tells you exactly what this article is about. We're going to practice finding that. We're going to highlight that, underline it, or color it green. This is our go. This tells you exactly what you're going to be learning in this article, right? Then our essay will be broken down into, let's say it's 3 different paragraphs. Each paragraph is going to have one key idea. That's how we separate and format articles. They're by paragraphs. And each paragraph has just one key idea. So what we're doing is we're slowing down and we're referring to this topic sentence. Let's say our topic sentence is how penguins live in the Arctic. The first paragraph will tell us maybe something about their bodies, right? So we're slowing down and we're telling you how they survive or live in the Arctic, right? And it will give me one key idea, that maybe they're fat, right? Now what we're going to do in that paragraph is we're going to explain, give examples, or give evidence as to why the fat on the penguins helps them survive in the Arctic, right? So we've had a general topic, we're getting a little bit more detailed, and now I'm going to give you explanations, examples, and evidence. We call these the 3 E's, right? Then let's say we do that for 2 more paragraphs. We have 2 more key ideas to explain how penguins survive in the Arctic. And at the end, we're going to find a conclusion. And the conclusion is one statement that restates what the article was about. And in this case, it was how penguins survive in the Arctic. Most, if not all, scientific or informational articles follow this pattern. There's a topic sentence, there are paragraphs with main ideas and evidence or examples, and then there's a concluding statement. And this is how we're going to write our essays. So when we write a summary essay to prove that you've learned what the article was about, your essay is going to follow the same pattern, right? You're going to write a topic sentence. There's a green. You're going to slow down and give me one main idea per paragraph. Not 2 main ideas, just one. In that paragraph, you're going to explain, give examples, or provide evidence for your main idea in that paragraph. And you might have multiple paragraphs. And then at the end, you will go back and conclude your essay by restating the topic sentence. And that's how we become great readers and then turn that into writing great essays.